Hey guys, how's it going? So in today's video here, we're back bringing you the best settings for you to be able to use in your game to both improve your PC's performance, your graphics card or your game, alright? First, we're going to go to the graphics card section, right? Your Nvidia control panel will open, and once it opens, we'll go here to adjust the image display settings and we'll switch to performance mode. Mine's already set, alright? Usually, when you open your Nvidia application for the first time, it'll be on this option here. Let the 3D application decide. You'll click on manage 3D settings, normally it'll be on quality, and you'll change it to performance. By doing this, we'll predefine these settings for this part.
Well, we're going to change a few things here. If you scroll down a little, you'll find this here. Look, texture filtering. Okay.
It stays on quality. If you change it here to performance or high performance, okay, to push it to its absolute limits. Here for GPU rendering, it's on automatic selection, but you should set your specific graphics card. Also here for vertical synchronization, if it's enabled, you'll need to disable it completely so there's no synchronization whatsoever. For maximum frame rate, if anything is turned on, just click off and that's it. This is the part where you'll be working within your settings, specifically the 3D section. So look, after you've taken care of all of that, we're going to go here to change resolution, the monitor section, and you're going to verify, right? Just really make sure if your PC is at its native resolution and if it's at the correct refresh rate. For example, my monitor here is 144 Hz. So you buy a 144 Hz monitor, but often when you plug it into your PC, it won't be set to 144, it'll be at 60, 75. You'll have to adjust it again to 144 Hz. So you'll set the maximum refresh rate here if available, right? Usually 240, 240, 360, 360 and so on, right? And apply. Now here inside the game, we're going to come to configurations or settings, and normally people play in 4:3 to get better game performance, you know, more FPS and for their own personal preference. If you play in 16:9 and your PC can handle it, that's no problem. Here you'll also check if it's at 144 Hz, right? Here in the preset section, you can set anti-aliasing to 2x, for example. Those grades on the vertigo map, when you look from bottom to top, they'll already be somewhat transparent, allowing you to clearly see any CTs that are there. If you leave these setting on no or CMAA2, everything will look completely messed up. You won't be able to see anything at all, as if it were a solid wall instead of a hollow grate, you know. Here for shadows, global shadow quality is set to high, but after the CS update you can set it to medium and it won't make any difference at all because it already provides a good viewing distance for where you'll see the shadows. The difference between medium and high here is simply the distance at which you'll start to see the shadow of a player moving across your screen. Medium is already a very good distance. If you happen to set it to high, it won't make a difference seeing the shadow first, because by the time the shadow appears, the person will also be right there, you know? So you can just leave it on medium. For dynamic shadows, you'll set it to all. Don't leave it only on sun, set it to all. For texture details, now you set it to low, as it's just the character's texture, like for example the skin here. So texture detail, I don't set it to 4x because I prefer the game to look prettier. And shader detail, now you'll set it to low, but I keep mine on high because I like the game to look pretty. Particle detail on low, obviously.
Ambient occlusion, I leave it deactivated. Why?
It's the same situation with global shadow, ambient occlusion. You know, it's such a tiny shadow that by the time you manage to spot that shadow, the person will also show up. So the player's shadow is set to such a low time that it will appear on your screen that I truly believe there isn't anyone with enough reflexes to actually perceive this ambient occlusion and manage to aim before the opponent even appears. Here for HDR, you can set it to performance. In Portuguese, it's already called desempenho, and this FidelityFX, if you set it to performance here, your game will look absolutely horrible. The video quality will become very poor, so it's best to keep this setting disabled, ensuring higher quality, so at least your game will be visible. And that's all for this part, alright? So everyone, for this audio section, here you'll choose where you want your game sound to come out, right? Obviously through your headphones. For this EQ profile, guys, which is the equalization profile, I just leave it on natural because it won't change the game's sound at all. The game will sound natural as it is, but if you want to change it, for example, if you increase the mids and highs on your headphones, it will be much better for you to hear things. It will still sound quite saturated in your ear, like when you play for a long time, right? Smooth helps more for those who use the game at a very high volume, because as smooth will reduce these frequencies, if it increases, for example, it will decrease ear fatigue and it becomes better to listen to, obviously, in cases of very high game volumes. The volume of the players that are on your team, I turn down as well because I don't really like the volume too loud.